Folks, it's Tyler checking in today. We're going to do a review on my Australian DVD movie collection. Enjoy. First one is the Cat Tape Paris, the plumber. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, any questions for Ben? Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, Pacific Banana. Here's the front, the spine. I had to cover the profile picture, sorry, and the back. I'm sorry I have to cover that due to nudity. Here's the disc. Next up, the long weekend is the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, Body Melt. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next, Patrick. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. There's the Umbrella Essential Australian Cinema Collection. I'm not going to go through that. It's going to take forever. Next up, the Decrent starring Kylie Minogue is the front, the spine, profile picture of Kylie Minogue, and the back. Just ignore my dad. The Decrent, the Delicate. Next up, he's dead with a fair fall with his hands. Is the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, Oddball. Here's the disc. Awesome movie. I saw this in cinema 2 times, Oddball. Next up, Angel Baby is the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, Muggers is the front, the spine, and the back. I'm going to go quickly here. Next up, Grievous Bodily Harm. Grievous Bodily Harm is the front, spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, 70s Australian Cinema Classics, which contains Stork, N-Play, Pedersen, Eliza Fraser, Alvin Purple, High Rolling, Alvin Rides Again, The Last of the Knucklemen. I showed you this one before. There it is. Here's the front, the spine. You normally get that in a box. And the back, I had to cover the back bit of the back due to nudity. Here's High Rolling, N-Play, Alvin Purple, Alvin Rides Again, Last of the Knucklemen, Pedersen, Stork, and Eliza Fraser. Next up, Making Value. Here's the disc. Next up, Black Walk. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. This is also Heath Ledger's very first movie role as well. Next up, I Love You Too. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's this. Next up, Elmo, and the musical is the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, my Brilliant Career. I've just ripped this one off my TV. This one. Next up, we have the Never Never. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, the Great McCarthy. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc right there. Next up, Shine. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. Here's the disc. Next up, Candy is the front, the spine, the back. Here's the disc. Next up, Animal Kingdom. Here's the front, the spine, the back. Here's disc 1, disc 2. Next up, Golden Breed. Here's the front, the spine, the back. Next up, the Nucleamus Kid. Here's the front, the spine, the back. Next up, Young Einstein. Here's the disc. Next up, Be Careful. My Here's the front, the spine, the back. Next up, Rage in Precinct Lake. Here's the front, the spine, the back. Next up is the Old Angry Shot. Here's the front, the spine, the back. Next up is Midnight Spares. Here's the front, the spine, the back. We've got Storm Boy. Next up is 10 Canoes. Next is the Red Curtain Trilogy box set, which contains Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet, and Strictly Ballroom. Romeo and Juliet's not an Australian movie. That's all. There's all the discs. I'm not going to go and bother taking them out. Next up, Australian Cinema Collection Part 1, which contains Picnic Hang Rock, Getting into Winsome, Devil's Playground, Travelling North, Malcolm, Purpley Blues, The Big Steal, Monkey Grip, Don's Party, The Adventures of Barry Mackenzie, The F.J. Holden, and Mad Dog Morgan. Next up, the Australian Cinema Collection Part 1 is the front, the spine, and the back. I'm not going to bother taking them out because it's a waste of time. And it contains movies are in there, Babe, Breaker Morant, The Dish, Gallipoli, Looking Up Alabama, Man from the Snow River, Muriel's Wedding, Newsfront, and Far Lap. Picnic Hang Rock was supposed to be in there, but it's missing. I've got it in the Australian Cinema Collection as well. Next up, Australian Cinema Collection Part 2 is the front, the spine, and the back. Movies in there are Priscilla Queen of the Adventures of Priscilla Queen of the Desert, Alvin Purple, Crackerjack, Crocodile Dundee, Dead Calm, Jonah Bine, Mad Max, Proof, Romper Stomper, and Wolf Creek. That's all the Australian movie box sets. Next up is The Visitors. Breaker Morant to this edition. I've got the box one in the box set. Next up, Mad Max 2. Come on. Next up, the repainted Ned 2003 repainted Ned Kelly. Let me get that back in. Next up, Oyster Farmer. Next up, Blood Oath. Next up, doing this in Paintsy Crine. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a bit fast tracked here. Next up, Tomorrow When the War Began. Looking Both Ways. UK release, sorry, this is not the Australian release. Next up, Hardware Word. Next up, Man from the Snow River 1 and 2. I'm not going to take this out. Next up, Man's Gotta Do. Lucky Miles. Snapshot. Danger Close. Simple People. The Honourable Willie Norton. Two Hands. The Popperation. Will Phil. Australia. Red Dog True Blue. This is just a homemade cover I made, but the real disc is inside. Barry McKenzie Holds His Own. Thank God He Met Lizzie. Latana. The Castle. Awesome movie, The Castle. Must see. Kitty and the Bagman. The Club. Awesome movie, must see as well. Jack Thompson. You might know John Howard when he was younger. He's later appeared on All Saints and Always Greener and Sea Change. Brilliant Lies, Anthony Appiah, he starred in Without a Trace. Strange Bedfellows. Two of the legends, Michael Caine and Paul Hogan. Next up, Paradise Found. This is Keith Hairston. He's an American actor, but this is also an Australian film. Next up, Caddyshack and Bad Eggs. Next up, Buried. There's a Weird Mob. Red Bull. Spots World. Wake in Fright. Awesome movie, must see. Fat Pizza vs. Howzo's the movie. The Hunter. Another homemade cover I made. Next up, Crackers. Get in there. Rabbit Proof Fence. That's a cut. I've ripped that from TV, that movie. Next up, Upgrade. It's a bit plain now, but it's Charlie and Boots. I had to make that cover homemade out of that one. Next up, Travelling North. Showed you that one already in that other pack. The Tracker. The Square. The Sapphires. Hunting. Mad Max 4, Fury Road. Far East. Misery Train. Vale Kings. Blame. L'Oreal Crayon. Ride Like a Girl. It's a movie about Michelle Payne. Next up, Face to Face. Human Torch. Chopper, Younger Boy, Last Cab to Darwin, Sunday Too Far Away, Money Movers, Stone, Crocodile Dundee, Part 1 and 2, Razorback, The Black Balloon, The Wog, Little Fish, The Wog Boy, The Nugget, Kenny, The Heartbreak Kid, The Japanese Story, Tim, The Great Gatsby, The Matrix, Samsung and Delight, The Silver Brumby, The Cup, December Boys, Sirens, Somersault, Running on Empty, Rams, Dead Heart, The Contestation, Brian Neil D, Boys Town, Paradise Road, Clubland, Red Dog, First Red Dog, The Dry, Night of the Prowler, Rogue, And last but not least, the year my voice broke. Here's the front, the spine, and the back. And that's all for my Australian movie collection. If anyone likes this video or other videos, please write a comment and please subscribe and ring the bell to get notified on the latest videos.